Let's take a look at canola. We'll look at canola futures on the weekly and daily chart. We'll look at canola in Saskatchewan. We'll look at the canola Saskatchewan basis as well. My name is Trent Klarenbach with Klarenbach Research. Today is April 17th, 2025. And the first chart we'll look at here is the canola futures chart. It's the next contract in front. And each candlestick measures 1 week in a time period. So we can see that the price is trading at 681. It's right at this trend line that I've drawn connecting the July 24 highs with the February 25 highs. And we're finding, some resistance this week at that price level, and I anticipate that to happen. Now, I don't anticipate a straight line move higher. As this price is quite extended, it's been rallying for 5 weeks, so anticipate this resistance to continue to act resistance in the next week or two, and maybe we get a pullback down to 660, maybe a down to 650, maybe we come back down this 50-week moving average down to 625 or 630. That's quite possible. So you want to be prepared for a pullback right now. If you are in the market for selling or taking profits, taking profits or selling at resistance is a great strategy, and just be prepared to re-enter above the resistance level or at a lower level when that opportunity presents itself. So right now we're testing this resistance. I still think we're getting up to the 699, 700 level. I just don't think it's going to happen in the next number of days or maybe even next week. I think we get a pullback and then a reset, just because this price is extended and doesn't, you can see in the past when we get an extension of the price, we always get a pullback, and that's just the way it seems to work. Let's take a look at the daily chart. You can see it's even, it's the extension here in the daily chart. The last week or week and a half, it's been rallying. It's probably time for a pullback. Now, each test of this resistance level brings in sellers, but these sellers start becoming exhausted, becoming less of them each test of the resistance level. So we'll see what happens. Maybe we blow right through it, but I'm anticipating a pullback to a lower level and then another rally. And I think maybe this next time, this will be the fourth test of this resistance level. I think maybe we can get above it on the fourth try. Maybe not this try, but the fourth one. So that might be in the next week or two. So keep an eye on that. I'm optimistic about canola. I just think in the short term, we get a pullback before we see another advance higher. Let's take a look at the Saskatchewan price information here. And this is the member area of my website. And, with the premium subscription, you can access it and just click to find the past reports. And I start with the sentiment rating, and you can see neutral, and bearish. Now, neutral on the futures just because we're testing the previous resistance level and I anticipate a pullback. I'm bearish on the longer term time frame, and I'm a little not sure about the sentiment 4 weeks out plus. I'm definitely bearish outside of the spring and summer. I do think we get a rally, and then I think in the next coming years we do trade lower than today's values, but that's something to change also. I'm neutral on Saskatchewan for very much the same reasons. So you can see here, and I track the average price throughout the year with the current price and the high price of the year. And I've always had this belief that there's more money in grain marketing than there is in growing the crop. And you can see that if you sell a bushel or sell your canola every day or once a week, you can anticipate this past year to get $12.93 a bushel for your canola. If you've delayed sales as long as possible, now realize there's cash flow requirements that need to be met, but the longer you've delayed your sales, the current price is $1.70 a bushel higher than the average price. So you just want to be careful. You want to have a plan when you're marketing. And again, it's extremely difficult. I don't blame anybody for selling to meet cash flows. You want to manage your emotions accordingly. But $1.70 a bushel, that's a few bushels of canola grown in the field. And I hear stories of sales made at $2 or $3 a bushel, lower than today's values, which is that's quite a few bushels of canola you need to grow. So I do believe there's more money growing, or more money to be made in marketing than there is in growing the crop. Let's scroll down here. Let's take a look at our prices here. This one's probably the most relevant. This is a logarithmic chart, and you can see on the right-hand scale, it actually, for the y-axis here, the right-hand scale, it measures the price and percent movements. So this is it's just a good way to measure price action over time, and or great, strong volatility in the price. So I drew these trend lines here, and again, just keep in mind that when you break out of a trend line, it often gets retested. I would argue this has had 2 retests of this trend line, and now we're making new highs. So probably, maybe in Saskatchewan, maybe I should be changing my sentiment to bullish. I think I will when I get off this video. When we have new highs, I need to be bullish. New highs often lead to new highs, and I mean, we talk about the tariffs, we talk about all these other things, but really, has the tariffs, there's a really short in duration reaction to the China tariffs, but I mean, they've had little to no effect on the price after a few weeks, and now we're making new all-time high or new crop year highs. Again, this is the linear chart. You can see here that it's each integral is spaced evenly on the linear chart, and again, it's new highs or above our moving averages. I should really change my sentiment to being bullish in Saskatchewan. This is our basis level, and let's look at the daily basis. And again, the basis is narrowing. We're above our moving averages. We made new highs, new highs for the past 2 years in the basis, and it's looking positive. It looks like it's going to continue higher. The new highs often lead to new highs. So anyways, I'm going to change my sentiment rating from neutral to bullish in Saskatchewan, but I'm going to remain neutral on the futures chart until we break above that resistance level. My name is Trent Klarenbach, sunny in Saskatoon. Life's good.